Okay, if I can have your attention, we will get started. We'll start with Mike Summerfield with the Grace Mennonite Church leading us in our invocation.
Please pray with me. Heavenly Father, it's an honor to be here this evening to bring our school board before you. It's our desire as a community to see our children reach the highest levels of education possible, and we have a very dedicated team on our school board who are committed to that. We praise you for giving us that gift in them, and I ask you to be a gift to them as they seek wisdom this evening. I ask that you will guide them to the best possible decisions in everything that they do, so that our children can be free to express their lives the way they choose. Father, that they will have the education necessary to take advantage of that. And I ask for it in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Mike. Call the meeting to order. We'll start with roll call of members. Colonel Little.
After 3 months of absence, I'm here.
And we're glad to have you. Matt Lohman.
Here.
Randy Long.
Here.
Kim Tinius.
Present.
Tori Turnbow.
Present.
Matt Sampson.
Present.
Chad Mance. Present. Joe Blackwood is absent. Takes us to presentations. Jane.
Tonight we have Ms. Toni Schramm, classroom teacher at Hoover Elementary School, to introduce our Spotlight student.
Good evening. I have Faith Carrillo. She is a kindergarten student at Hoover. She loves learning to ride bikes. So in PE, they've been learning to ride their bikes, and so they start off with balance bikes, and then they work their way to the pedal bikes. So she's enjoyed doing that, and she loves music class, and she really works hard in class too. She's becoming an amazing reader. Communities out, the things out in the community she said she likes to do is she loves to go downtown to see the lights, the Christmas tree, and stuff like that. Her hobbies is she enjoys visiting her friends. She gets to play on her iPad. She loves coloring and doing puzzles on iPads. And she was telling me that she likes to watch a movie called Alice in Wonderland. I'm not sure why we like watching that one. That's a good one, isn't it? She said that she's most proud of that she can do wit and wisdom now. That was a hard thing to learn at the beginning of the year as a kindergartner, but she really enjoys that. She's also learning to read, and she's getting good at that. She's also proud that she can stay in the lines when she colors, because that's a big one in kindergarten, isn't it? Yeah. She's most proud to have me as her teacher, and I'm proud to have her as a student. I'm not looking forward to this one moving on to first grade, but I told her I was not going to move on with her. So I'm going to stay in kindergarten with the other kids. So, good job. Okay. Please stand.
Please stand.
Carry, colors. Forward, march. Freezing, arms.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms.
Good job, Faith. Thank you.
Kind of makes you nervous to have to stand up in front of all those grown-ups. You did a great job, young lady. At this time, we'd like to recognize our secondary spotlight student, and Miss Annie Heathman will introduce him.
Good evening. I would like to introduce Paulton Malong as some of his activities and hobbies, and one of his accomplishments that he's very proud of. Top 5 students in 8th grade.
I am the vice president for our leadership class at Emerson, where I get to attend most events. I really like to play music. I have learned to play many different instruments and hope to play more in the future. I am most proud that I got accepted into the North Central Honors Orchestra as a violinist, where I got to play with very talented people.
Congratulations, Paulton. Thanks for coming out this evening. Proud of you.
Okay, that takes us to item C, or 1C, oath of office for re-elected board members and reorganization of the board. Dr. Robinson.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Sampson, Mr. Long. If you guys will raise your right hand, we'll swear you guys in for 4 more years. All right, please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Randy Long,
Hereby declare under oath
hereby declare under oath
that I will faithfully perform the duties of
that I will faithfully perform the duties of
member of the Board of Education
member of the Board of Education
of Independent School District Number 57
of Independent School District Number 57
of Garfield County, Oklahoma,
of Garfield County, Oklahoma,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
all the duties pertaining to said office
all the duties pertaining to said office
and support, obey, and defend the Constitution
and support, obey, and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States and Oklahoma.
and the laws of the United States and Oklahoma.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thanks to both of you. Okay, the next item is election of officers. I will now take nominations for board president.
I would like to make a motion that we elect Chad Mance as board president.
Okay, are there any other nominations?
I'm going to second it.
Second, oh, excuse me, you should second it, yes. Any others? Okay, then we will vote. Matt Lohman,
Yes.
Randy Long,
Yes.
Corey Turnbow,
Yes.
sorry, Kim Tinius,
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
Okay. Takes us to 2B, to board vice president. We'll take nominations for board vice president.
I will make a motion that we vote, or we elect Randy Long as board vice president. Sorry, I couldn't get those words out.
Okay. Is there a second?
Wrote it for me.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any other nominations? Seeing none, we will vote. Matt Lohman,
Yes.
Randy Long,
Yes.
Kim Tinius,
Yes.
Tori Turnbow,
Yes.
Matt Sampson,
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Okay. Takes us to item C3, appointment of other officers. We can take those A through F as those printed in the agenda. Would I have a motion?
Move we elect the officers as listed there. Do I need to read all those?
I think we're good.
A through F in the agenda. Okay.
Second.
I have a second from Tori. We will vote. Matt Lohman,
Yes.
Randy Long,
Yes.
Kim Tinius,
Yes.
Tori Turnbow,
Yes.
Matt Sampson,
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes.
Recognition tonight, Mr. Liddell, if you want to start heading this way, is going to be our Allen family recipients of the scholarship. But before Mr. Liddell speaks, I just want to take a moment in this opportunity to recognize the passing of Mr. Allen last week. And the Bible instructs us God loves a cheerful giver, and Mr. Allen set the example by being a cheerful giver. Him and his family. It would be hard pressed for us scholarships tonight. I think this is the 6th or 7th year. Just an outstanding human being, and what a legacy Mr. Allen's leaving, and he will be dearly missed. And just tremendous thank you to the Allen family for what all they've done for years and years and years. Saying that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Liddell.
Excellent, Dr. Darrow. Thank you, sir. I'm going to ask for our 5 Enid High School recipients of the Allen Family Scholarship for this next year and the 4 future years to come join us here. And I'm going to ask each of them to step forward and share who they are and a little bit about their plans, where they're going, and maybe what they're studying, and anything else that they feel relevant to share. But go ahead and all of you guys come up. Thanks, Coop. Coop's leading the way. Come on, you guys. Line it up, and then I'll go through you in a bit. As they're working their way this way, guys, I want to echo what Dr. Darrow was saying. Mr. Allen, unbelievable, the whole family, very special to Enid. Getting to be out at the soccer complex all the time, I'm just living the dream, and it's very, very special. So what we've got in front of us just now, and we've had this for multiple years now, we believe it was the 7th year, I don't want to be off on this, but this is $10,000 per year for 4 years, renewable each year. That's $40,000 in scholarship money. Guys, that's life-changing when you look at opportunity for a kid to go to school and really pursue their dreams and not just get by, but really embrace the academics and really get immersed in it and have the opportunity to do that. Now, I'm sure along the way, guys, you're probably going to have to do some additional work as well with some jobs and other pieces, and I know all you work hard. So I'm going to give each of you a call, and if you come forward one at a time, I'm going to ask Cooper to come up first. And Coop, please tell us where you're going and your plan, and anything else you want to share.
Hi, my name is Cooper McKee. I plan on going to Southern Nazarene University next year, and I'll be majoring in worship arts. And I just want to say thank you to the Allen family for the opportunity to go to college, because without them, I don't think my dream would have been possible.
Jamison Milner.
My name is Jamilson Judarel Milne. I plan to go to NOC for 2 years and complete my basics and do some of my core classes for engineering, which after the 2 years of NOC, I'll transfer to OSU to do computer engineering. And I want to conclude this speech by saying thank you for the Allen family for providing for me and my family. And God bless.
Giovanni Ortiz Mendoza.
Hello, my name is Giovanni Ortiz Mendoza, and I am a senior at Enid High School that is hoping to achieve a degree in mechanical engineering. And I hope to just leave as good as a legacy as Mr. Paul Allen did. And I just want to have a moment of silence for his passing. And yeah. Although I never really got to meet Mr. Paul Allen, from what I know, he was a great guy. And I bought some flowers for his family, but I don't see any of his family members here. So. Yeah, and thank you guys.
Giovanni Pacheco Villa.
Hi, I'm Giovanni Pacheco Villa. My future plans are to attend Northwestern in Alva, where I'll be majoring in biology, to hopefully going on to dental school to become a dentist education. Thank you.
And Esperanza Maria Tobias.
Hi, my name is Esperanza Tobias. I will be going to Oklahoma State University and majoring in business. I just want to say thank you to the Allen family for this opportunity they've given me. I truly don't know what I would have done if I didn't receive it. I think I've always wanted to, I feel for others. I really want to help back and give back to the community. So I hope one day I succeed and I can start what Mr. Allen has done and help give back as well. Thank you.
Congratulations to you 5. Parents, if you want to come down and take some pictures, feel free to. And we wish you 5 nothing but the best of luck moving forward. All right, let's give them one more round of applause. Congratulations, kids.
Our next recognitions this evening are Miss Linda Uthier. She is going to tell us about her students and their speech and debate, and the students recognize the students that qualified for state.
Here I am. You guys, thank you so much for always letting us come and do this. I'm really proud of these kids. We just have great kids at high school, and it's always fun to get to come and show them off. I have 6 of the 9 kids who participated in the state tournament, which means that each one of them just going to state are in the top 16 in the state in their event. So that's really, really impressive. We're in the largest class. We're 6A. And it's very, very competitive, just like everything else in 6A. And so I'm super proud of these. 3 of them could not come because, it's the 80-20 rule that, 20% of the kids do 80% of the activities. So they're all doing other things tonight. But these 6 are all participants. Cooper and... is Cooper the only one here? Cooper and his partner, Ani, who's not here, they made it to finals, and I think you guys got 6th. And then Ani also was in finals, and she got 5th in poetry. And Malia, who is at softball tonight, she got 6th in standard oratory. Okay, so they all did a great job. And for me and for you, the best news is of these 9, 5 of them are sophomores and 9th graders. So that always makes me happy. I hate to lose my seniors, but I'm not that worried. Okay, so thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate everything you do to support us. We feel loved when we go eat at Brahms on Friday night at 11 o'clock. We feel the love. And these kids work really hard. They give up their Saturdays and they do all this, so I'm super duper proud of them. Oh, you want to? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll name them off. Okay, so I've got Cooper and Cooper McKee, who is a senior. I've got Rayleigh Garnon, who is a 9th grader. I have Brooklyn Buckles, who is also a 9th grader. Danny Pembroke, 9th grader. See what I'm saying? Krista Martinez, who's a 10th grader. And Avery Ransom, who is a senior. And then my other 2 seniors, Delaney Carruthers and Ani Ortiz, cannot be here. And then one more 10th grader, Malia Crouch. So, see, I'm good.
The future's bright. Congrats, Ms. Uthier. Congrats, Miss Uthier and your squad. Good job. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Our next recognition, Mr. Mitchell Wright is going to introduce Lyric to us and tell us of his grand gold trophy accomplishment.
Our first All-Stater in esports, right?
Yes, sir. And actually, Mansfield just told me just to slam the trophy down on the thing and walk away, but we're going to take the high road tonight instead. I told him I was going to put him out there. Yeah, for once, I came to this program about 2 years ago. Well, about a year ago. It's my second year, and I had a lot of big shoes to fill with the gentleman that started this, Chris Parker. And his words of wisdom were to me, no stress. I said, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. And I was fortunate because I came in and I had a lot of great leaders that I didn't know about. And one of them standing right here next to me, because you can game all your life. And I knew the game Super Smash Brothers, played the old ones. But little did I know I didn't know as much as I thought I did. And thankfully, I had guys like this that took the time and were patient. And when Coach looked at him straight-faced like he had no idea what they were talking about, they held my hand and explained it to me a little more. But Lyric, no, I tell you folks, he had a playoff showing last year for solos and felt like he left some on the table. And this year, when it came around to this spring, he said, I'm ready for it. I really think I'm one of those top guys. And we went to Northwest Regionals for OESL that we play in, Oklahoma Esports League. And he said, I feel good about today. And we came out second place. He beat one of his longtime rivals. And I could still see on his face that not everything was done, that there was more to do. And so when we got to state finals in Sapulpa at Waypoint Lounge, he was relaxed and everything on the outside, but I hope to God he was still just as much in knots and worried as I was on the inside. But he kind of worked his way through the day, and ladies and gentlemen, he went 7-0, didn't drop a single match, and walked out there the state champion. And so I can say he made his impact on the program, the league, the state, and he's definitely over the years made an impact to me, and I can't thank him enough for that. And I appreciate y'all having us out here today.
Lyric, you have any words for us? You don't have to, but it's...
I have a few things I did want to say.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I never thought that I would get this far in this program because I honestly didn't know any more than Coach did when I started. Freshman year, I knew nothing, and all it took was me losing that made me want to play this game more. So going into it with the drive and the passion to want to win and want to get better, I am glad that I pulled out first place because I want others to try as much as I did, because I look at my freshmen, because I'm a senior, got to leave them behind. And I hope that they understand that when they lose, that means that you should want to win. And I hope that they remember that every time they look at this trophy.
Well, congratulations. You're our first one to do it.
And our last recognition of the evening is Miss Anna Heathman at Emerson Middle School, and they are being recognized for being named an Oklahoma State Champions Banner Program for the second year with the Oklahoma Special Olympics.
And I would like to introduce Dee Dee Brown. She is the one that actually has won this recognition for the second year.
So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the Unified Champion Schools. So the designation of an Oklahoma Unified Champion Banner School by Special Olympics Oklahoma signifies more than just an award. It represents a profound commitment to fostering inclusion environments where all students, particularly those with intellectual disabilities, are not merely present but truly belong. This recognition, earned through the diligent adherence to standards of excellence, highlights schools that are actively cultivating a culture of acceptance, respect, and engagement, setting a benchmark for educational institutions statewide. At its core, the concept of an Oklahoma Unified Champion Banner School revolves around the creation of an inclusion school climate. This goes beyond physical integration, devolving into emotional and social fabric of the school community. At Emerson Middle School, students with and without disabilities experience and share a sense of belonging. They feel welcomed, not as separate entities, but as integral members of the student body with a unique contributions valued and celebrated. This atmosphere of acceptance is crucial for the holistic development of all students, fostering empathy, understanding, and breaking down preconceived notions that can often lead to social barriers. The pathway of becoming a Unified Champion Banner School is paved with the implementation of standards of excellence. These standards serve as a comprehensive framework guiding schools in their journey towards genuine inclusion. Among the key activities that embody these standards, Special Olympics Unified Schools or sports stand out as a powerful catalyst for change. By bringing together students with and without disabilities to train and compete as teammates, Unified Sports transcends the traditions, boundaries of athletic participation. It fosters genuine friendship, mutual respect, and a shared sense of accomplishment, demonstrating the unifying power of sport. Beyond the athletic field, Inclusion Youth Leadership plays a vital role in shaping the inclusive spirit of Banner Schools. Empowering students of all abilities to take on leadership roles within the school fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility for creating a welcoming environment. Furthermore, the commitment of a Unified Champion Banner School extends to whole school engagement. Inclusion is not confined to specific programs or activities, but permeates the entire school experience. Through various initiatives and awareness campaigns, Emerson Middle School actively promotes understanding and acceptance among all students, faculty, and staff. This comprehensive approach ensures that the value of inclusion are consistently reinforced, creating a truly unified and supportive learning environment for everyone. The significance of the Oklahoma Unified Champion Banner School designation lies not only in the present achievements, but also in its commitment to sustainability. Emerson was not content with just receiving the recognition once. We have actively demonstrated how we will maintain and expand our inclusive practices for the future. This forward-thinking approach ensures that the positive impact of our efforts will endure, creating a lasting legacy of inclusion for generations of students to come. In conclusion, an Oklahoma Unified Champion Banner School represents a beacon of hope and progress in the pursuit of inclusion education. By adhering to rigorous national standards and implementing impactful activities such as unified sports, inclusion youth leadership, and whole school engagement, these schools are cultivating environments where students of all abilities can thrive, learn, and grow together. Thank you.
Very good job. Congratulations, Ms. Heath, Ms. Brown.
Okay, that takes us to item number 2, audience and visitors. We have none this evening, so move to item 3, superintendent's report. Dr. Darrow.
Perfect. All right. First up, just part of our current strategic plan and future strategic plan is our academic performance. And Mr. Rader and Dr. Rhodes are going to be speaking tonight about that. You should have a handout of your area, and it looks like Mr. Rader's going first.
Yes.
So I'll turn it over to him.
All right, if you'll draw your attention to the handout that has the graphs on it. I realize I'm going to first apologize for it being so small. I tried to get it bigger and I just could not. So But the thing I do want to draw your attention to is one of the things is I have very high expectations for our students. I don't like to see any red, but the realist in me also knows that we have kids from very diverse backgrounds that come to us at all different levels, and so we're always going to have some of that. But what I do want to draw your attention to is at each grade level, as you see, what we really want to see is the trend line moving up. And every one of those grade levels, kindergarten through 5th grade, we are moving up on those trend lines. And the kids that are really in the 3 light shades of green are pretty much on grade level. The higher they go, obviously, the more secure they are in those skills. And these charts measure all of the reading skills. The good thing about iStation is we can drill down, our teachers can drill down to specific skills within those and find out if it's a reading or if it's a vocabulary problem or if it's phonemic awareness or phonics. And as you know, with a class of 20 to 22, sometimes more, it's really hard to hit every child's need, but I feel like our teachers do a great job doing that the best they can. I want to draw your attention down to the bottom part. And again, this is an area that I wish the percentages were higher, but really this is where we started in September. And the reason we picked 70th percentile, if you know anything about national norms, anything from really the 40th percentile up, the kid is on average with his peers. But we know from the testing that we take in Oklahoma, because Oklahoma has one of the highest cutoff scores of any state, if our kids aren't scoring in about the 70th percentile in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, then they don't have as good a shot of passing the tests that we're taking right now. It doesn't mean they can't. It doesn't mean they can't read, but it just means that because our standards are so high in the cutoff scores, they just don't they don't have as good a chance. So I'm happy with the growth that we have in that. We went up about 9 percentage points in each one of those categories, and so that's exciting to me. And so that's kind of just a real 10,000-foot view of kind of the growth that we've had in reading. If you'll flip to the next page, you have the same thing with math. And again, this measures September to April. If you look really close at this, I meant to point this out, there are some scores from August, but really the reason every time, the first time a student logs into iStation each month, they take a test. And so we have some teachers that started in August, but our real start point is September, and that's why you see the most consistent scores starting in September. Again, when you look at the growth, I'm pretty excited about the rate of growth that we have, especially in those areas. The thing that I want to kind of draw your attention to, and of course you can dig into this information a lot of different ways, and trust me, I went down a lot of different rabbit holes in looking at it, but if you'll notice in 4th and 5th grade, some of our lower kids really start to flatline and on some of their interventions or some of the skills, and part of that reason is, you know, when we do reading, you're always kind of doing those same skills over and over. And once you're past the foundational skills of phonemic awareness and phonics and things like that. But with math, it truly, I know you have to build the foundation, but there's also a lot of skills that just keep going, and they don't circle back as often. And so, I mean, if you're like me, I used to be really good at algebra, but you know, it's a perishable skill if you don't use it a lot. And so the older the kids get, the farther that distance is. One of the reasons I say that, and I'm not going to stand up here and make excuses, but if you'll look down, as with reading being at 70th percentile, math, if they are scoring in about the 50th percentile, they have a shot of getting there. And if you'll look at those percentages, if I'm going to brag about being 9 percentage points ahead in reading, I'm going to eat a little crow about building, or we're stagnant or a little bit less than growing in math. However, I do want to tell you, the percentage points, just like anything else, are a little bit skewed. We actually went up with the number of students that were 50th percentile, but because cut scores changed throughout the year, we had some kids that scored 50th percentile, and then the next time maybe they didn't. So they're just kind of on that bubble. But again, I also will say in math, they kind of do a concept and then they move on, and they do a concept and move on. And so this is kind of a cumulative test of those skills. So again, the math is not where I want it to be as high, but I will also tell you, when you look at the raw numbers of students, we actually do have more kids in raw numbers that are above that level than we do in reading, even though the percentages look a little bit different. So, and then the last couple of things I want to share are just some interesting information. I've talked a little bit about Amira and the AI reading platform that we have, where kids actually read to a computer that's AI generated, and the tutor makes corrections and stuff like that. We did kind of a soft rollout this year because it wasn't mandatory, and they're kind of in a transition with their platform. But one of the things we know is when a teacher has as many students as they need, kids need to read. That's the best way to get better at reading, is to read. And unfortunately, teachers don't have time to sit and listen to kids read as much as we'd like them to. And that's what I like about the Amira platform. So you can see the total number of words read, over 17.51 million, which is a lot to me, and then over 243,000 minutes read. And then kind of on the back of the very last graph, you can see the practice minutes by grade. And again, a little bit lower in the younger grades, but that's not because they're not reading. We have to keep in mind that their stories are shorter. And so they may be getting on and doing as many stories, but their stories just last less time, especially in kindergarten, when the story might be a couple sentences long and they achieve their goal by reading it. So, any questions?
Well, how do you account for the drop-off in the 5th grade in the minutes read?
Probably, to be honest with you, our focus early on were the younger grades doing it, because it really does do the tutoring with the kids that don't have the foundational skills. And so in 5th grade, by 3rd and up, they should have most of those foundational skills in. And so probably a lot of those kids that are reading in 5th grade aren't spending the same amount of time in the program. You have those kids that need the remediation, and our teachers are using that. And that's pretty much where it is.
Wouldn't you say, too, you kind of alluded to it, it's our first year.
It is.
It's a first year implementation, so it'd be something to track moving forward,
right.
too.
And we've had it kind of all year, but we really didn't require teachers to really dig into it until January is when we rolled it out and said, okay, everybody needs to be into it by this time. So a lot of that has happened just in the last 2 or 3 months. All right, thank you.
Alrighty. So mine's pretty lengthy. Dr. Darrow said 1 page, and I tried really hard. But if I made it too small, I couldn't read it. So I have to be able to read this too. But you have a handout there in front of you, and I just want to go over a few things. All of our sites, honestly, have worked really hard to encourage our kids to do well on tests. I mean, it just seems like it's very stressful for the teacher and for the student as much. And so all of my secondary sites did a March Madness review session where they really tried to hone in on just test-taking skills for all the students and maybe eliminate some of that stress and worry. Either you know it or you don't. Either you're a good test taker that day or you're not. But at the high school as well, they also implemented ACT prep workshops, and they had a test prep assembly, and then they gave out test-taking strategies. So we had been to an ACT conference earlier in the year, and we got some really good information. So our ICs made some really good test-taking, that's a lot to say, strategies to go over with the students prior to. So with that, they're also working with our AP students who will start testing May 5th. So as you go down there and look, the WIDA test, I've broken out some information for you on that. And that is our EL students that we assess. And they have to test in listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So our test window for them opened in January and just completed. And I just wanted to show that we tested 828 students on our WEDA test, and that is middle school through high school. So we'll have those results coming in sometime in May, and then we'll have the final results June 9th. And that will be part of our October presentation that Dr. Darrow has us do as a recap of all of the testing, but I just kind of wanted to give you a timeline on that. And then you move on to the ACT test, and we had a day that we didn't, the freshmen and sophomores were not at school. However, our juniors were there to test that day, and we tested 502 kids currently, and we're still picking up some that may have missed those testing dates, and so we'll have those results, hopefully a prelim score before long, but again, we'll go ahead and go over that when we get those back. And then our CCRA test, our juniors have to take that. And so right now we're in the testing window, and it closes April 25th. And so we're about 80 to 90% of our students who have all taken those assessments, and we have to be at 95%. So this includes our JDC kids, our Meadow Lake students, our virtual kids, not just the ones that walk through the halls of Enid High. So this is all of our kids that we have to test. So if they move in now and they're on our roll, we have to at least get 95% of our students that we're assessing, that are enrolled. The OSTP is for our 6th through 8th graders, and they're currently testing now. So they started testing last week. They didn't test today, but they've picked it up. We'll start back tomorrow. So we have several students there. 6th and 7th graders obviously just test in ELA and math, whereas our 8th graders have to test in ELA, math, science, and writing. So it's that big time testing window. Then we go right into our college board, and that is our AP assessments. And so again, we have 287 students taking 479 exams over the next couple of weeks. So we'll have those results 1st of July. And I'll go back in a little bit more on AP and what it looks like we're up and down a little bit, but we're kind of staying fairly consistent. But when we started looking at this data, we didn't test very many students in 21-22. There was a limited number. But when I looked at the data from 22 to 23, we had tested 805 students in all of those subset areas. And you can see 22-23 data, for some reason on that bar, did not come out. So if you wanted to add this in on your graph, you could. But we had 13.8 with ELA, a 15 average with math, 14.5 overall, and a 15.1 in science. And that's that 22-23 school year. And then you get down to the 23-24 year, those numbers all hit. But when you look at 24-25, I'm not sure. I've got a work ticket in on why it's not pulling this data. However, in 24-25, if you needed to add this on your graph, 14.3 for ELA, 15.43 for math, 14.9 overall, and 15.3 in science. But here's what I want you to understand. Since 2022-23 school year till now, we have increased our total number of students testing in the pre-ACT by over 607 students. So even though this is a quick look data point for you, we are really looking and are going to do a better job even next year of honing in on where our skill sets are and what do we need to be doing, working with our teachers and our students to increase their overall ACT score as a whole. So I just wanted to give you those data points for that. Then we go into STAR. So we have done iStation through 8th grade through this year, except, I take that back, through 7th grade. This year we started with 8th grade STAR because it gives us a better predictability of how our kids would score on the ACT. But with iStation now moving to Amera and listening to Mr. Rader and all the struggles and challenges they had, I visited with our staff and we just decided to go STAR next year, 6 through 12. So we'll have 4 data points that I can present to you on what that STAR data looks like per kid. And we've already set those benchmarks for next year, so that way when parents go for PT conferences, they will have our likelihood of how our kids can score on those benchmarks, and we'll start having those conversations. Then I want to go into Kongmingo, and I am going to give a big shout out to Dr. Crowley and Mr. Tyler Elders with Enid High. Last year we implemented Kongmingo. It's an AI tutoring and instructional courses through Khan Academy, and Dr. Crowley has presented on this before with our geometry teachers. And it was to help bridge those gaps that we were seeing with some of our students. So this year, we continued and expanded it to include Algebra 1. Over the course of this year, this is just some good data that came in that I was not expecting for them to pull and share with me, but I felt like it was very relevant and I wanted to share it with each of you, is that over the course of this year, the Algebra 1 and Geometry students have been working on over 130,000 different math skills in 9 different math Kongmingo courses to help reinforce skills needed for math success. According to our most recent student data usage report, students have leveled up over 79,000 skills and have met or exceeded proficiency in over 33,000 of those skills. And I think that's pretty impressive. So we are excited to continue to have our students work on this for next school year. And with that being said, our teachers have worked so diligently on this, and so Wednesday, KOCO is coming to do a segment and interview a couple of our students, along with Dr. Crowley and Mr. Elders, who's an IC at the high school, and Ms. Garris, who's taking the lead as the department head on this. And so I'm super proud of them. Again, I feel like we're going to get some good data, and they've embraced it, and we really are looking to try to get that more implemented even down at the middle schools. And then a quick academic update. We are in the middle of curriculum adoption for fine arts and technology. We are wrapping up. We've been doing pre-enrollment at all the sites. They're building their courses and their master schedules, and I will give a shout out to actually the high school because I think we're about 95% ready to go. So I'm proud of them. And then, of course, tonight currently is NOC enrollment and concurrent AP and honors informational being held right now at the high school for parents and students. And then our AP changes that are coming. We've worked all year on talking about how we can improve and get more rigor in our AP classes and our courses. And so we've done a lot of research on what other schools our size do as well. So in Enid, we require if you are enrolled in an AP class, you're going to take the AP test. And the district pays for it. However, what happens is some students maybe don't want to take it. So if you get a senior, and AP College Board sets when they're going to test. So we may have seniors that graduate a week before they are going to take their assessment. So why show up and take the assessment? So we are trying to make that more rigorous, and we've been working with Dr. Darrow, and we'll present that at the next board meeting. But I do want you to know that some changes are coming that I feel like is going to offer a focused framework, instructional support that focuses on skills to prepare students for AP courses, colleges, and future careers. So stay tuned for that. Any questions? Perfect.
Any questions for Dr. Rhodes? All right. Thank you, Dr. Rhodes. Thank you, Mr. Rader. Okay, that takes us to item B, which is the Eisenhower update. For a change, I've got some positive news. We're finally moving in the right direction. You all should have a couple of renderings there at your packet, and those are very rough, but I anticipate those changing several times between now and then. But Want to update everyone just real quick. Our application has been officially accepted. Our timeline for the design work is January 1 of 2025 to December 31st of 25. So we've got a calendar year, and we are under the clock right now, though. And Dr. Robinson is going to talk more about this during his business report, but everything is moving right along. Corbin Mertz is working on the design portion, and they're actively working on it. As again, those are very rough drawings at this point. I definitely can guarantee they will change. Location will change, etc. But things are moving right along. It seems like we've been a long time getting here, but I'm happy to answer any of your questions. But like I said at the very beginning, everything's moving positive finally. Any questions?
Just curious, what's the capacity of the school that we're looking at?
350 was the number we settled on. 350, and that was 2 classes per grade level. So 2 pre-K, 2 kinder, all the way up through 5th grade. Dr. Robinson, did I hear everything? I know you're going to cover more of it later, so.
Let me say something about the rendering if you're looking at it. This rendering was done right around the time where we met last year with the DOD guys. So it's going to show 3 classrooms per grade level. One of the changes that we already have is that the Department of Defense asked us to have a special education classroom for each grade level. And so when you see 3 on there, know that one of those will be converted to a special education classroom on an as-need basis, of course. So.
And Dr. Robinson is going to talk more about the money portion of it here during his business report, but finally, things are moving good. I'm glad very often, after months of wait, we're finally getting some progress. Okay, I'm going to keep moving on real quick. Cell phone committee update. As you guys know, there is a House and Senate bill addressing this for students next year for public schools. Not sure which version is going to be finally adopted and signed off by the governor, but I'm sure something will be adopted through legislation. This is the latest copy of our cell phone committee work that we've done. I had a very good meeting last week. It was really good to have Mrs. Graddick there. Mrs. Graddick's our Director of Special Services. She gave us some good guidance on the medical exemption portion of it. But again, this is still very rough. We're going to continue to work with our principals as we get prepared for next year. Just as Dr. Rhodes said, we'll implement this in our handbook. But again, we've still got to wait and see what the legislation does before we can have anything officially. Happy to answer any questions, but very, very good committee. I appreciate everyone's time that's volunteered to come out and provide input. Okay, no questions. I'll keep moving along. Okay, item D. Current enrollment numbers. I pulled up Power School just before this meeting. Power School's got us a little over 7,300. I think 7,308 was our number today. And that's been pretty consistent. That 7,300 number has been pretty consistent the last 6 to 7 months after about fall break. Again, as I've reported to you for several months now, that number is down from last year. I anticipate that's going to affect our funding next year. We'll find out in July. Although we did find out at board training that state enrollment's down across the state. So anyways, we'll wait and see what state funding does. But please know that we are taking this enrollment and watching that, monitoring it. Also, Mr. Liddell slipped out, but he's going to graduate a little over 470 seniors in the next 30 days. We are currently pre-enrolling students for pre-K, and that's been started. That was started April 1st, and that's ongoing. And then also, parents should be receiving some notifications, either text message or via email, just verifying students' enrollment for next year. So we're moving right along, and we're making the proper adjustments for next year as we go. Happy to answer any questions. If not, I will keep going. Go to item E. Item E is over strategic planning. I don't have a lot to report to you, but I just put this on here to make sure that everyone is aware and bring it to your attention that the next board meeting, which will be May 19th, we're going to seek your approval for the strategic plan. So our goal is to seek board approval that night, present to you the final version of our strategic plan, and then really hit the ground running. You've got a copy there at your area. Looks like we're meeting all day on the 20th. We're going to meet with the committee, we're going to meet with our principals, and we're going to meet with our teacher leaders, and that's really going to set the stage because we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to get this thing implemented between May 20th and August 20th. So we're going to hit the ground running. That's really going to drive our summertime work. So seeking your approval in a month. Please don't forget about it. Next item on the agenda is upcoming end-of-year events. I know this one's a little special to Mrs. Turnbow because I've got a senior down there. One thing I also want to bring your attention to is this last page, this pink. This will be your parking pass for graduation, so you can raffle that off if you'd like to. You better definitely hold on to it. But that'll be your parking for graduation. Again, we're scheduled for graduation at Selby Stadium. Backup plan would be at the Expo Center if we have inclement weather. But these are exciting times for these seniors and juniors in high school. We've got prom this weekend. It's going to be at the Stride Center. We've got May Fete and all the other events coming down. So between now and May 19th, as I alluded to, there's going to be a lot of events, a lot of activity. That's what it's all about, is these end of the year activities. So keep that on your radar as well. All right. Item G, I'm going to ask Mrs. Johnson to help me out with this one a little bit, but we've got teacher appreciation coming out in the first week of May. It's going to be May 5th through May 9th. And you just sent out a survey trying to get some good feedback from teachers. I'll let you talk about it, Jane, if you don't mind.
Yes, Miranda and I sent a survey out this evening trying to get some good stories and information about teachers that have made an impact, and we want to share those on our social media throughout that whole week. So make sure you like Enid Public Schools so you can see all of the good things that our parents and kids say about our teachers.
And all of our parents and students need to fill out the survey too. Yeah, get us some good feedback. So teacher appreciation coming up here in a couple weeks. All right. Item H is something that's really cool, and I'm going to ask Mr. Rader to speak about it. There was actually an article in the paper a couple weeks ago, and I printed that article off for you in case you might have missed it. But this is just a great partnership with the YMCA and our elementaries. Mr. Rader, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I just want to take a second to highlight this Kids Safe Around Water program that the YMCA applied for a grant from the CDC and got that. They contacted me back in the fall and wanted to work with second graders, and they could this first go around, they told me they could handle probably about 80 students, and so we took McKinley second graders and Monroe second graders because they have about 40 each, and we coordinated with transportation. We got them to the YMCA. They each school went 4 times for an hour, 4 separate days, and they literally just went around 4 or 5 different stations where they weren't really giving them swim lessons. They really were helping kids become confident around water, for if a kid were to fall in or something like that, just enough skills to get back to the edge or to save themselves. And it really was, I only got I was busy all of the days except for the last one, but when I went to kind of tour the last day, they told me, they pointed out several different kids that wouldn't even go close to the water at the beginning, that were jumping in and getting back to the side and different things like that. And to me, that's really what that's all about. And then, of course, they did turn on the water toys and stuff like that for about the last 10 or 15 minutes and let the kids. So the kids probably thought they were just, playing for that time, but they really were learning some valuable skills. And it's something that hopefully we can expand. Part of that will just be their capacity because they have to have a pretty high ratio of adults to students. And so we're hoping that maybe we can do it a little bit earlier in the year and use some of our certified lifeguards that are at the high school and different things like that to maybe help out with some of that. I want to give a shout out to Kim Beckman and Leah Klima. They both did a great job helping coordinate that. And then, of course, Rick Moulton. Nothing's going to happen in Enid if we don't have transportation to get kids places. And Rick always finds a way, especially during the spring, to squeak out enough buses to get kids where they need to be. And so thanks, Rick, for you and your group. And then also Roy Bartnick and Amara Dietrich, the principals at those two schools, both of them helped out as well. And we couldn't have done it without them, because literally at one point I just had to say, hey, the ball's in your court. We've never done this before. You need to work with Kim and make sure that this works. And it turned out to be a great deal. And read the article. The Enid News and Eagle did a great job on the article, and it'll give you some great information.
Yeah, it's a win-win. Appreciate the YMCA helping us. Okay, last item for me is just a reminder, we're going to go to summer hours. This is something that we traditionally done the last couple of years. That's going to be starting June 2nd through July 25th, and we'll make the shift Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5 with a shortened lunch break. Obviously, that's a nice perk for our employees. It definitely helps the morale. I can speak to that, but also it helps with energy conservation. And speaking of energy conservation, Dr. Robinson is going to talk about that a little bit later. We got another program that's helping offset the bills a little bit. But we will resume back that last week in July, so that'll be July 28th. We'll resume back to normal hours, Monday through Friday. And also, I just want to remind everyone, Mr. Mansfield's gone now, but our OSSAA Dead Week is June 28th through July 6th. And that is really gives all of our coaches, all of our athletes, everyone needs a break. And so that is what OSSA calls Dead Week. No practices, no weight room, no facility usage, nothing. So I really appreciate the OSSA doing that, because everybody needs a break. So summer hours are coming, and that'll be the month of June and the month of July. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Darrow. That takes us to item 4, regular business. A, discussion and possible action to approve the following consent agenda items. We could take item 1 through 11. Have a motion from Matt Sampson, second from Kim Tinius. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Okay. B, discussion and possible action to approve the district's financial report for March 2025. Dr. Robinson.
Well, just a couple of quick things on this finance report. We have finally reached the time of year where we've collected more money than our encumbrances, so that's always good news. I do want to talk about something that we are investigating internally. I guess maybe I'm investigating, but I've been keeping Dr. Darrow up, in the know on what's going on. But we're looking at a possible 10-year treasury with our carryover funds. And that 10-year treasury does not mean we're tying our money up for 10 years or we can't touch it, we can't spend it. If something came along and we needed to get to it, we could. Looking at a possible $10 million investment, 10-year treasury, tie that up somewhere north of 4% before interest rates possibly change in June or July. I've been watching it. I did panic a couple of weeks ago, and I sent Scott Athey an email, and I was like, Scott, it's dropping. What can we do? He told me, rest assured, things are going to be fine. They have resettled back north of 4%. So we're going to get back to the old plan, wait till the end of May, kind of see where everything's falling, and then look at making that investment. So if you guys, I'm really just kind of telling you this because part of my job by board policies, make sure we're investing our funds at the most that they can grow. This is one of the ways we can guarantee $400,000 for 10 years for the district if we don't have to dip in to that $10 million. So hopefully we don't have to get there, but it's really a good problem to have, and I just think you guys need to know what we're talking about and looking at doing with our funds. So just if there's any questions on the finance report, I'll definitely take them. If not, just need a motion to approve.
I move to approve the financial report as presented.
Okay, we have a motion from Tori.
Second.
Second from Matt Lohman. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes. Takes us to C, discussion and possible action to approve the EPS independent auditor contract for fiscal year 2025 transactions with S&B CPAs and Associates PLLC.
This is just letting the State Department know that we will have somebody doing our audit next year. They're going to be auditing this year's finances, and so it's that first step in the contract. Later on, I'll bring you an actual contract with a dollar amount for them doing our audit, but this is just so we can satisfy the State Department that we will be audited next year.
Okay. Have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Tori.
Second.
Second from Matt Sampson. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Okay, takes us to D, discussion and possible action to approve fiscal year 2026 engagement letter with Chas W. Carroll, PA, for preparing the annual financial statements for Enid Public Schools to include the temporary appropriations and the estimate of needs for fiscal year 2026.
So Pat Carroll's been doing our estimate of needs and our temporary appropriations for quite some time. Next month, we'll be bringing temporary appropriations, so this is really going to set the stage for getting those ready to go. And just so you guys know, temporary appropriations is how we start spending money on July 1. Estimate of needs is how we spend money for the rest of the year, and we do all of that in September. So all that will be coming to you guys in May if we approve Pat Carroll to handle all of that for us.
Move we approve.
I have a motion from Tori.
Second.
Second from Matt Lohman. Is there any discussion? Okay, we will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Takes us to item E, discussion of possible action to approve the fiscal year 2025 supplemental appropriations for the Building Fund 21 of $1,759,522.39. Very specific number.
Very specific. It's what we pay Pat Carroll for. So this is the work he does. All right, this is my first time to have to do a supplemental appropriation. I don't have a history when the last time the board actually did one. This is solely needed because our estimate of needs on the building fund was a little over $4 million. We are heading in that direction to spend that $4 million on projects out of the building fund this year. What it didn't account for was some things like Redbud Fund, carryover, because we don't necessarily get an appropriation for Redbud whenever the year starts and we start our estimate of needs. So it wouldn't really be fair for Pat to necessarily include that in our estimate of needs. We have those funds now. We also know the Department of Defense is going to be sending us some money. In order to open a purchase order for the contract we're going to approve next, we have to increase our appropriation in the building fund. We really only need about $1.2 million, but Pat, he's a little overzealous and got us a bigger number than that. I don't expect to spend $1.7 million. In fact, everything we increase it by and do the PO for, the hope is that we're getting at least 80% of that back from the Department of Defense. So we're really not deficit spending into the building fund per se. We might get to July, and when I present it, it might look like we have some deficit spending on some projects, but it will not be to the tune of $1.7 million for sure. This is just to really get us a purchase order in place.
And they said they would reimburse us within 3 business days.
Three business days.
Should be a short turnaround.
Could happen as soon as 24 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
By Matt Lohman.
Second.
Second by Kim Tinius. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Okay, item F, discussion of possible action to approve the design contract with Corbin, Merz, and Haney for a new Eisenhower Elementary for $1,200,000 with $960,000 to be paid through the Department of Defense Office of Local Defense Community Operation.
So we just approved the supplemental appropriations, so now we're going to spend the money, all in 2 votes. And so this is a contract for Corbin Merz. We've been working with Corbin Merz on the design work. We're over 20% of the way there. We actually did a PO with them earlier for about $48,000 to start that preliminary work. So that's why we're kind of out in front of this. We're going to really get the ball rolling once we get this contract in place, because December is the ultimate deadline, and we do not want to ask for an extension on design. We want to be rolling right into construction.
Move we approve.
Motion by Tori.
Second.
Second by Matt Sampson. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. Matt Holman?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Phineas?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes.
Chad, I'm going to interrupt real quick if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I just want to piggyback kind of what I said and what we talked about earlier today is we are going to be spending a lot of money on that building fund, but as you can see, we're going to be collecting a lot out of there too. So it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
We're going to spend a lot, but we're going to get a lot of money back too. So I feel like I'm going shopping or something, trying to convince it. But this is a really good thing.
Okay, gets us to G, discussion and possible action to approve an agreement with OG&E to voluntarily reduce power consumption if requested and can be reasonably accommodated by Enid Public Schools. OG&E will compensate the district based on how many kilowatts is successfully reduced within the requested time period.
So I want to start this off. Dr. Darrow once again brought us a program that could bring some money to the district. He's like a good couch. He's always there when you need him. If you shake him, you get a little bit of spare change out of it. So thank you, Dr. Darrow, for that. But this is a program OG&E came to us. They went to Dr. Darrow. I had a meeting with them. Basically, for up to 10 times in the summer through June through September, if there's an energy event, which that means if the temperature goes to like 110 degrees as an example, OG&E could call us and say, hey, at 2 o'clock, we need to know if you can conserve energy for us. In the summer, we're already shutting our buildings down around 3 o'clock anyways. The high school is our biggest energy consumer, and the only part of the high school that's really impacted by this agreement is the gym area. And so they're going to give us 24-hour notice. We simply say, yes, we can do that. We could actually pre-cool the gym area off. And then at 2 o'clock, when they want us to shut the power down, we shut it down. Temperature might already be 70 degrees in there. In the 4 hours we're shut down, it might go to 80. That would be an extreme weather event for that to happen. So we're already practicing a lot of this. The good part is if we get to August and school's in session and they call us up and they say it's 110 outside, we really need you to conserve power, we can say, listen, we have 2,000 kids running around up there. We have a volleyball game tonight. We can't shut it down. They simply go on to the next customer. By whatever our baseline number is, and they're going to establish the baseline, whatever we reduce our kilowatts on an energy saving event, they'll write us a check for that savings. Could be a couple $1,000s, could be $10,000. It's really unknown at this time. We have about 14 sites, including this site as one of them that we can potentially shut down and switch over to generator power. And there is a formula for how many hours you can run on diesel versus burning kilowatts at a higher rate. They have all that formulated for us. There's no cost to us. There's limited obligation. You get 10 max events in that 4-month period. In the summer, and then there's also, we can participate for a little bit additional bump in the winter. There's 2 winter events that are participate in, and I'm going to say this about winter. If we have an extreme cold event, extreme winter event, there's a really good chance we're not in school anyways. And so we can preheat the building. When they call for that 4-hour shutoff, we shut our buildings down heat-wise, save that a little bit of electricity. We know our buildings aren't going to go to freezing in 4 hours, and then we kick everything back up, and OG&E is paying us to turn our heat off for that time period. I realize there's a lot of natural gas involved in that. There's a lot of electricity to keep those motors running. And so school's already out, not impacting kids. We get a chance to make some money and save energy, so that way residential customers, those kind of people, can keep the heat on at their house in the wintertime. Same thing with summertime and that. So to me, it's a win-win. We're out nothing. We only get a check from OG&E if and when we can participate.
And if they pick us with our generators, it's still cheaper.
Still cheaper to run diesel, yeah.
We could run, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. We'd have to shut down for 24 hours for it to tick up to where it cost us more money to put diesel in the machine.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from Matt Lohman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Tori. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Okay. Okay, takes us to item 10, new business. Is there any new business?
No, sir, none.
Okay. Then item 6, reports, items of information, or board comments and/or questions. Colonel Lilly, you have anything for us?
Yeah, if you don't mind, give me just a teeny bit of space. Again, sorry that I've been out of pocket. I've been traveling a lot during these meetings. So yeah, January, February, March. Yes, I did it on my fingers. I was out of pocket and traveling for work. I'll also be traveling for work at the next meeting in May, but I will make graduation on the 15th. So certainly looking forward to that. Very, very happy to see the Eisenhower Project, no kidding, launch. And so certainly nothing on Enid. You guys have worked tirelessly and back and forth to get this accomplished. So it's all on the federal side, all on OSD. I was like, well, I thought we did that already, but okay, right? But just for the patience and the diligence. So again, the school it's an EPS school, right? Just on our property. Well, not even on our property. That land belongs to Garfield County. So again, just a win-win all around for everyone. So very happy to have been a part of that during my tenure here. The other thing I just wanted to talk about, I just think what I will miss and what I would tell my successor is the presentations, right? That's my favorite part of all of these meetings. And the young man, I think his name was Lyric. I love how he said losing helped push him to want to win and get better. So competition is a good thing. And every now and then, getting your ass handed to you, pardon my French, is not a bad thing, because all the kids have left. So it's not a bad thing, right? And so that's what you want. You want kids to be able to bounce back and have that resiliency, because very few people win 100% of the time. So to have him say that and for him to want to carry that message on to others, to bring them into his sport, into what he's doing. I'm like, yeah, he's got the right attitude, and of course, his educators and parents around him are pushing him to that. So that certainly warmed my heart and brought a smile to my face. And then again, of course, condolences to Mr. Allen's family, and then his legacy, and then what he has left for our kids there. $160K over 4 years. I remember my college days, and I'm sure you do too. And so you're doing whatever you can. Washing dishes, eating yogurt is maybe your your food while you're trying to get yourself through that process to get to where we are today, right? And so just to see them and see that they have some help doing that, and very lofty goals, a lot of STEM guys in there, again, just made me smile. So all of that to say, again, thank you so much for your patience as we get through all this. And I'm not sure if Colonel Jans will be around in June. If he is, and if he's here early, then I'll bring him to the board meeting in June. Otherwise, you'll see him in July. But with that, thank you so much for your time and everything. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Colonel. Any other board member have any comments or questions? Okay. I won't. Item 12, next regular meeting is May 19th at 6 p.m. right here in this room. 13, discussion and possible action to approve a proposed executive session to discuss the employment of those individuals and/or positions listed on the attached Exhibit A, negotiations concerning employees and/or representatives of employee groups, and possible purchase or appraisal of real property. Have a motion by Tori. Do I have a second? Second by Matt Sampson. Any discussion? We will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. We're in executive session. 7.